The recent Islam versus Christianity debate featuring Daniel, Ijaz, Sam and Jay is making waves right now. And since I have my own channel, I've decided to make my own response to it. Don't worry. I'm not going to break down the debate point by point. This will be an extremely short video that will focus on just 2 points that I feel Team Islam should have raised during the debate. So whether you're a Muslim, or a Christian, or just a casual viewer, grab your coffee and turn the volume up. The first point that I'll address has to do with the issue of the Trinity, which was part of the debate topic. As is abundantly clear from the debate, Team Christianity failed to prove the Trinity. And to be honest, I don't blame them for it, because the Trinity simply cannot be proven using the Bible. In fact, in the Bible, Jesus himself refutes the Trinity. Here's a clip from one of my previous videos about this matter. In John chapter 17 verse 3, Jesus, who Christians regard as God, the Son, prays to the Father and calls him the only true God. In Matthew chapter 6 verses 6 to 9, Jesus teaches his followers that it is the Father who is to be prayed to, and then goes on to teach them a prayer that is addressed to the Father alone. In John chapter 4 verse 23, Jesus states that it is the Father who is to be worshipped. Thus, Jesus makes it unequivocally clear that it is the Father who is the only true God, and that it is the Father who is to be worshipped and prayed to. This completely debunks the idea that Jesus ever claimed to be God, or a part of God. And if Jesus is not God, or a part of God, it logically follows that God is not a Trinity consisting of Father, Son and Holy Spirit. From all this, it's clear that the term God applies only to the one who Jesus refers to as the Father. Anyone who claims to follow Jesus would take his words seriously and reject the idea of a triune God. Yet, the vast majority of people calling themselves Christians reject the teachings of Jesus and stubbornly insist that God is a Trinity consisting of Father, Son and Holy Spirit. Now, knowing Christians, they'll mechanically parrot so-called Trinity proof texts like John chapter 10 verse 3, John chapter 8 verse 58, Matthew chapter 28 verse 19 and others to somehow prove that Jesus is, in fact, God. But this creates a contradiction. Jesus cannot simultaneously be God in some verses, and not God in others. The fact that John chapter 17 verse 3 has Jesus referring to the Father as the only true God is enough to disprove the Trinity. By invoking other verses to prove Jesus' deity, Christians achieve nothing but only nullify Jesus' words in John chapter 17 verse 3, while making it clear that there's a contradiction within the New Testament. The second point I'll address has to do with Sam's strange argument involving the two right hands of Allah, as if it somehow debunks the monotheism of Islam. Since it's such a childish argument, I'm not going to dignify it with a proper response. Rather, I'll just turn the tables on Christians and remind them that their Bible describes God as having human and animal body parts. Here's a clip from one of my previous videos about this matter.
In Exodus 33, God is described as having a face, a hand and a back. God's hand and arm are mentioned in Isaiah 23, Exodus 7, Psalm 89 and Isaiah 66. Isaiah 6 describes God as having a face and feet. The passage also tells us that God wears a robe and that there are angels standing above God. We also read that God uses their wings to cover his face and feet and even fly. God has eyes and ears according to Deuteronomy 11, 2 Chronicles 16, and Psalm 34. God's feet and soles are mentioned in Exodus 24, Psalm 18 and Ezekiel 43. In Psalm 18, God is described as having nostrils that blow smoke, and a mouth that spews fire and coals. Deuteronomy 8 and Isaiah 1 mention God's mouth. According to Psalm 91 and Psalm 57, God has feathers and wings.
I'll conclude by saying this. When Christians attempt to debate Muslims, they only do so by either avoiding the issues plaguing Christianity, or by projecting issues with Christianity onto Islam and the Quran. And for this reason, their arguments lack substance and as a result, Christianity will always lose to Islam. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and share my videos on your social media.